time for a bath. This is V here. So today I want to talk about the quarantine and how it has impacted the van life these days. Because a lot of people who live in the van like me do not have a shower in their van. So most of us we have to rely on public facilities like the community centers, the campsites, or the gym to go shower. So by the way, if you want me to make a video specifically about different solutions to shower in the van, let me know whether you're interested in doing that. If you're interested in me talking about that, and so in this video I like to share about my experience. This is my own creative way to stay clean and shower these days. There's a quote that said necessity is the mother of all invention, and so I find it to be really true in this situation when pretty much everything is taken away from you, so you just have to be creative to find a solution for it, right? So that's what van life is all about. It is all about problem solving. That's the nomad lifestyle is all about, and that's what I kind of enjoy about it as well. And so this is just my own experience. It may not seem very pleasant, but it's actually not so bad for me, and I enjoy the freedom from it. And there's lessons and silver lining that I find from it as well that I will discuss by the end of the video. So if you like this video, please let me know, comment or like or subscribe to me. Let me know if this is the kind of video that you would like me to talk more or record more in the future. And I would really appreciate your comment and your feedback. And that's it. Enjoy the video, everyone. So before I can have the sponge bath, I would have to solve some of these issues. First of all, I need to go somewhere to get the water. Then the water temperature has to be right because I don't like cold water. Then the environment, it had to be fairly warm environment as well. Otherwise, I don't like to bathe myself in cold environment. And how I'm able to keep the floor dry, and where I'm able to dispose the water afterward. And so first solution, where I'm able to get water. So I normally go get water at the campsites or at the parks or at the gas station. Sometimes I have a water spigot like this as well. So here I got some water jugs that I bought at the grocery stores, and I just use them up and refill them afterward with this water station like this. So I also use these jugs to fill up the big water tank that built inside my van as well, which is like 11 or 12 gallons. So I think it's quite convenient to have these jugs on hand. I always save them up, and the rest of them I use for drinking water and for sponge bath. Okay, so next I would have to boil some water in a pot and a pan like this. So basically these are the only two items that I have in my kitchen for cooking. So I don't know about you, but I cannot stand cold water. One guy in the van life community even mentioned that he been bathing himself like Wim Hof in icy lake, but I don't think I'm ready for it yet. So I love my warm baths, and so I would have to boil my water and mix it with some of the cold water that I got earlier. Okay, so while that water is boiled, I just put some of this cold water into the bucket, and then I temper it afterwards to make sure that the water temperature is right. So basically this is how the setup looked like. So I just got the two buckets at Walmart, which is like $12 in total, and then I just laid the floor with towels. So I basically got Marco's towels. I use these towels to clean Marco, so it's not really my own towels, and I clean it afterward, after the bath. And I pretty much use just about 2 water jugs, which is about 8 liters of water for cleaning myself from head to toe. So it's pretty conservative. I don't use that much water. I just realized for a bath, it's good for environment, right? So here I just have to retemper the water again, make sure that it's not too hot. And I basically use the Pyrex measuring cup like that, and I just pour it over my head, and that's how I wash my hair basically. So it's pretty simple, and I'm just pretty cautious not to get the water everywhere on the floor. So this is the view that I get from my window. So sometimes I just kind of fading myself and enjoy the beautiful view like this with some music. So it's actually not really so bad having a bath in my van. Okay, so well, next part I would have to clean my body and I have to be naked so I can literally show this on the video on YouTube because it has to be kid friendly. So in the meantime, you can still enjoy some cuteness of Marco. Look at him, he's a bit sleepy. So what do I do with the towels afterward? You may ask, the wet towels, right? So I'm pretty lucky to have the ladder in the back of my van. So I just hang them up and let them air dry like this, especially when it's nice and sunny outside. So it's pretty convenient, so it's not so bad. And I actually forgot to mention earlier that the weather actually plays a big role to when I can actually have the sponge bath inside my van, because when it's nice and sunny outside, I can actually utilize the sun energy to heat up the van naturally, so it's a lot nicer and warmer for me to have a bath that way. So if it's because it's still pretty cold lately in BC, so when it's rainy and cloudy, I typically don't face myself so much, but I've been lucky that it has always been sunny lately, so that's it. That works out for me just fine. So as you can see, I try to utilize water as much as possible, and I don't waste anything. So I just use the pretty much the soap water that I bathe in, and I just clean my feet by the drain. So that's how I dispose my water, just by the city drain like this. So it doesn't get the street so messy. So normally I would have to park pretty close to the drain like this, and you can find these drains everywhere, this sewage everywhere in the city. So it's not that difficult. It's fairly an easy solution. So I just want to share some insight about this experience. um, I really thought that sometimes when a necessity get taken away from you, it can really help to gain more gratitude about it. Just like this shower thing, um, you just don't really know how important shower is until you you don't have a shower anymore. It's feel good to be clean. It's important to have a shower, just like it's important to have water as well, because you need to stay clean, right? So and also through this pandemic thing, I realized there's a bunch of things I've realized after my small road trip to Kelowna from Vancouver, and because I had choose options whether I could stay in Vancouver and stay with my friends and shower at my friend's place, and just camp there for the whole time of this quarantine, or I can quarantine myself somewhere remotely. But then I won't have any shower. Um, and so I decided that I wanted to be independent. I wanted to have my own freedom. And I wanted to be close to nature and pretty much having a little more fun because it's been so down these days. Um, so I chose to have a little adventure out of this lockdown time. Um, Even though I knew that it would be difficult for me to shower because I never have a sponge bath in my life, and I was actually skeptical of the idea as well. Just clean myself that way. But until I go through it, then I realized that it was really not a big deal, and being able to stay aligned with my highest value, which is freedom, um, helped me to realize that everything is really going to be okay in the end. And I was worried that I wouldn't be able to find new water so that I can um, bathe myself in the van. But turns out it was not that difficult for me to find water. I mean, everything seemed to work out pretty much seamlessly and easily, and there's always a solution. That's what I find when I had so much more peace and joy and inspiration when I stay close to nature. So I was really happy that I made that decision, and I chose to stick close with my value and what I love most, to have independence and freedom and really do what I love even during this downtime. Um, and so the obstacle just fades away. It's like it's the shower thing is really not an obstacle anymore, and I realized that I like through this I realized that I have another layer of freedom within myself. So you think that just living in a van that you have freedom, that's not really true. It's like I still rely on external resources. Like I used to go to community center a lot, and then I realized that now I pretty much shower wherever I want, and I don't have to rely on community center anymore. Um, and so that is like another layer of freedom for me that I didn't have before. Before this whole quarantine thing, before this whole pandemic thing. So it turns out to be like a silver lining for me. It's like I found another treasure living in a van, and especially after this road trip. And I realized that I can really just stay close to nature and stay close to small town and just be wherever I want, and I don't have to concern so much about where I have to shower, where I have to get water, because really is water is abundant and I can find it pretty much anywhere. Um, so that's the biggest insight for me, to have the freedom and the power to choose, and especially choose what is most important to you, that's aligned with your highest value, and just be positive about it, and just have a gratitude, be grateful for that experience, and be fluid, really just go with the flow, and everything just works out the way that it is. So I realized that I didn't have anything to worry about the shower thing, and now I'm gonna I'm gonna enjoy showering in my van, because sometimes I even have a view and I can have music on whenever I clean myself. So it was really not that bad. Um, so that's in my take on it, and that is my insight on it, and it's like turn an obstacle really into a treasure. that's that's what I think, and that's what I realized through this experience. Um, so that is my lessons, and that's what I have been going through in my life so far. So I know that it would be helpful for some of you, and I I also want to ask that what is the obstacle that you've been facing these days, and what's your attitude about it, whether you've been grateful for it, um, or you just be knocked out and not do anything about it. So I hope this is helpful, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you everyone. Have a good one. Bye.